Let's go. This meeting is being live streamed.
It is. It's live. It's live in the world today.
Live in the mix. How long do we rock this for? Like an hour?
Hello. I believe we're live. I believe we're live in Subcon Studios. Here we are.
Live in the mix.
We're live in the mix. And, oh man. Yeah, here it says we're all good. And welcome today, Sunday Live Chat with the one, the only, I think about your fourth visit here or something, BASECK. LA's, you have to be the best representative of LA music that I know. Like, I mean, dude, you, for me, in seeing you grow and knowing you now for 20 years, like, it's apparent to me that I can't name another LA artist that I've witnessed grow exponentially every damn time and every year with everything that you've done. And now you just, like, humbly say you are on fire, because people need to understand, like, you know, electronic music is not just like, as we were talking about earlier, it's not everybody can pick up the same piece of gear or whatever and make the same sounds. You're not going to make the same music.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I appreciate that like crazy, because, yeah, I do grind on this all the time. And a lot of times most of the time it's just for the excitement, the energy, the having fun of wanting to explore sound. So, like, just you saying that and recognizing it, yeah, feels dear to my heart.
I remember the first time seeing you, like, it was amazing, because...
Where was it? Do you remember which one?
Very first time. Well, the first time I ever saw you was when you walked into my living room with Christina, with Otto von Schirok.
Yeah.
And he introduced you. That was in 2004 when you guys were Sonic Death Rabbit.
Oh, yeah. Then there was a show shortly after. I think it was a techno show, but I decided to go crazy at the techno show, right? Like a lot of people.
You used to wear a hood over your head all the time.
Oh, yeah, for Sonic Death Rabbit.
Yeah, well, no. It was actually, I think, the first thing that I ever saw...
Oh, I did a BASECK...
I think the first, these are assortment of pictures we'll go through here, but the first thing that I ever saw, by the way, we'll come back to that. The first thing that I ever saw, look at all this killer shit. Okay, no.
That was my birthday.
This was very early. I remember I joined you on your birthday, but you see what he's got in his hand there? He's got a Game Boy. And you used to use a Game Boy and turntable.
Oh, you know what? That was a rad rave, because, remember that there was a half pipe that people were skating in, and then they had an old school those Mac computers that are like the big bubble one.
Yeah.
They had that hanging from a chain, and people were jumping on it, swinging back and forth. So it was very dangerous. That was our time in Tokyo.
Oh, I want to come back to a few of these pictures. I'm just trying to find this one where it was like this is the very beginning here.
Yeah.
Sonic Death Rabbit.
Christinky had her, that was her first synthesizer ever, the Korg MS-2000.
Look at this audience soaking up this has got to be 20 years ago, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. We're coming back to that shit. We're coming back. Hold on. I want to find the picture that I was, like, enamored with. And I was like, okay, we've gone through it all. But, like, basically... Man, it's so weird.
Which photo was it?
There was a picture of you with a green hood on, and now it's apparent to me that. Oh, did you see that one? Hold on a sec. Here it is.
Oh yeah. Oh, I actually have a funny.
Here it is.
I got a funny one with that. Could I airdrop it to your computer? And do you have that on this thing?
I don't have that on this computer.
Oh yeah, but it was that era, yeah.
This was how I first knew you. And it's funny because I remember that we all flew up to San Francisco. Venetian Snares, Otto, you.
Yeah.
You remember that time?
Yeah.
And you tried to get on the plane with this bullet vest.
Yeah.
And you it was so funny because we saw you get carried away by the guards, and we're like, there's no way he's going to come be making it on the flight. And then all of a sudden you're back.
Yeah, so what happened,
just let you go.
What happened was, on the way there, I put it in my carry-on, but on the way back I accidentally tried to check it in, because, you know, we didn't sleep the night before. We had a show, and I was like, I just threw it in my bag, and I didn't think anything of it. We were all tired, didn't get much sleep, trying to go back home to LA from, I think it was like Oakland. And
it was Oakland, yeah.
But they were looking at me like I was a dog. They were like, they were holding the belt to my face and being like, "Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?" And I was like, "Yo, this is a part. We're a band, and this is a part of our stage.
Part of our, yeah."
And they were like, "Oakland or San Francisco airport is one of the most secure airports in the world. We don't tolerate this." And then they like had the cops come and like the police from the airport, outside police, and I remember you guys were looking at me because I was always the troublemaker, and all you guys were just all you guys were looking. What the hell? Where did you find that? Where did you find that?
That was when we were in Japan, and
No, but like, how do you still have that video? You gotta send that to me.
I don't know. I will. It's hilarious, but that was so long ago now.
But you guys, you remember I was always like the troublemaker that was always doing the crazy stuff. So you guys were looking at me when that bullet belt thing happened, like, damn it, Derek again. What did he do?
No, yeah. I mean, it's
because on the ride there too, it was crazy because remember at the time I was a heavy drinker, and we were all hanging out, and that's when we all started meeting each other. And on the way to the Bay, it was like, it's only an hour flight from LA to San Francisco and 45 minutes or something. And they were like, "Oh, for an extra $100 you could upgrade and to first class." And I was like, "Why the hell are we gonna do that?" But everybody did it. Don't you remember that?
That's because Cyrus was with us.
Yeah. So
he thought, "I'm not going to let these guys not have fun with this," and so
then he upgraded me.
He upgraded us.
And then we were partying the night before with everyone, and I was like, "What did we get in first class for like 45 minutes to an hour flight?" And I remember it was showing the drinks, and I was like, "Oh, wine," and I was like, quantity 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I just kept pressing them, and they just kept bringing them to me, and I just started pounding them.
I remember.
And then on the way there, remember when the plane was landing, I jumped out of my seat and I started jumping on you guys. Do you remember that?
I do. I remember you were righteously out of control. And, it's really fair to say that you've been pretty straight edge for what, over a decade now, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
but I still have that energy though, just going crazy because I
so
realized it wasn't the substances that were making
you
me
were
crazy.
like a crashing car that somehow you came out like of this on top, and I'm so proud of you, dude. You're always on fire whenever I see it. People don't understand that. Your setup has certainly grown. Like, I mean, sure, you started with.
Oh yeah.
You started with the Game Boy and stuff, and we did a show in Tokyo even, where we flew you over.
Yeah.
And you came, and all you had was a Game Boy and a turntable, and you lit that place up like no other. It was incredible.
Oh yeah, and I surprised you by remixing Banana Sloth on the Game Boy.
Yes,
even that one. Go back. That was like only after discovering modular for 2 years prior, thanks to Cyrus Rex. And but yeah, you were talking about before the chat started when I came here and for the first time, and you showed me the studio, and I used to look around and I would get overwhelmed. I didn't know any of this stuff. I would just look and I'd be like, "Yeah, okay."
I loved it. I loved the look in your eyes. It was just, let this guy loose.
but it was kind of like, it was this nervous, it was this anxiousness that I was like, I have no idea what this does. I don't want to mess up. But then you would set me up with the patch, and once I figured out the knobs that I liked, I would go crazy. But
now though, you have to teach me what you know in my studio. It's incredible. I witnessed you not knowing what was going on over there to now. You are out of all the modular guys I know. No one knows your setup better than how you control your shit.
Well, that's what I love about you is that you still get me excited. Like, so many people, when they hit me up about this stuff, I'm just like, it gets a little bit feeling jaded. But your energy too always got me excited. So I'll post something new that you haven't seen, and you're always the first person that just immediately calls me and is like, "Yo, what's up with that? Are you just making it look good for the video, or is it actually fun?
Does that actually sound
what the hell's going on?
How did you do that? Hey, wait.
Should I get it?" And then a lot of times 3 days later, you're like, "Look what I got."
Yeah, if you people don't follow Derek on Instagram, you're missing out, because you have daily adventures. And they're always I don't even know how you get all those images that you get together for your posts. It's so amazing.
Yeah,
you're really an amazing post. Oh, look at your studio. It's always growing. And
we were talking about right there the love. That's what's funny about
for
getting
drum boxes
into all the it's getting all to the future stuff and the new modular and the new Elektron machines and all that. On the bottom right, you see the Roland MC307 groove box.
Yeah.
And I have such a love for the
That's a good
the
one,
groove
right?
boxes. Yeah.
Yeah. What's this? The Casio above that? It looks like.
Oh, that's actually the Tempest.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to get into that. I saw somebody ask about the Tempest, and I will say that like nobody on earth has taken the time to study, I'd say, the world's drum machines and drum synthesizers more so than you. Like you have collected, in the end, you've gone through almost every possible groove box, drum machine, box.
Yeah, before when I moved to Portland, I had over 40, 50 drum machines, and then I sold almost all of them, and then got another 40, 50. So it's like...
Yeah, and it's amazing because I can trust Derek in saying, well, how is it? Where does it fit on the list? You know, we're always actually kind of talking about new gear, obviously, but you're always the one that has the answer for what that new gear is. Or you'll find something that's like super rare, but nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you have one.
Yeah.
And then it's like, before too long, it seems like you're either hit or miss on it.
Yeah.
And then what I love to see is like, obviously, you really connect heavily on some boxes more so than others that I've been witness to.
Yeah.
Obviously.
You know what's funny about that with the Tempest? I need to get back into that because that was my baby. That was my first love. Another shout out.
And you were on that for years.
Yeah, shout out to Cyrus
And
Rex. He let me borrow it.
Amazing sets Derek would do just with the Tempest alone.
But
So
it
to
took a
answer
back
your
seat for so long. But I need to get back into that because it's deep, you know. These Elektron machines are beautiful. The Tempest has other stuff going on with it. You know, you can stack 4 sounds on it. It has a whole mod matrix. You could do beat repeat in it. You could do beat wide master effects. And a lot of machines don't have that. And that's kind of taken a back seat for a while. But I know, you know, it has a deck saver on it, and it's just on the shelf. But I know once I get back into it, it's going to be crazy because that machine is bananas.
Isn't it fair to say that you have absolutely mastered the Elektron sort of way of thinking, and as far as like any one of their boxes is concerned, you have gotten the most out of all of them, no matter which one it might be?
Except for the mono machine, because I haven't had that for too long.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you had one of those.
No, I haven't had it for too long.
I have one of those right over there.
I've only had it for like a year or two.
And what do you think about it?
Oh, it's incredible. But that is one that I'm going to master like crazy. That way I could do full live sets with it. And, you know, I put...
Full live set with... I like it how when you do your live sets, you typically bring your drum machine.
Yeah.
And you want, as we were just saying, he just played a gig the other night where they didn't have inputs, so he had to actually just DJ. It was like, fuck, what do you mean they don't have inputs for to plug in his drum machine?
But yeah, usually it's 2 machines, 3 at the most. Like, you know, a lot of times people, they...
Back and forth between machines instead of records.
The machines work as full songs and mixing between them. Like, you know, sometimes people do these techno live sets where they use one machine has a kick and a hi-hat, the other one does the melodies, and I like to have everything self-contained. That way, you know, if I'm flying, I could plug into the outlet and work on one song and save it without having, you know, because sometimes you just want to throw one thing in a backpack and there's a last minute show or whatever it is, you know.
People always talk about like the language of like Elektron as far as like say the octatrack or being incredibly hard to learn, like get ready for a year of study before you're going to become you're going to become you know, fluid on it. And then you seem to conquer these boxes quicker than anybody as well that I know.
Well, you have to be excited to learn and not scared to try every possibility, you know, because people are scared of these boxes because there's too much going on, but as you advance you realize what you want in a more advanced thing, they put it in there. So it's like as your mind keeps leveling up and you have a better understanding, they already thought about it. I mean, most things, you know, but yeah, obviously it does have limitations, which all hardware does, but there's a lot of things that they thought about. And it's always with exploring those aha moments, you know, like, you know, even though you say I mastered it, like I want to master it more and more and more every day. Like I still jump on the same machines and I'm just like, oh, okay, like yesterday I used all samples. Let me use like synthesis of just like one machine. Let me see what I could get out of the hi-hats, and if I could, you know, mess with high resonant filters to parameter lock just like filter resonance with hi-hats and create full tracks. So it's like, it's all about just like wanting to push and push. Like, you know what? Like, it always feels like, people that are in these insane drivers around the canyons that are always like skidding and like they know their car so well that they could spin it out and skid and like they know when to hit the brake. That's hilarious right there, that photo. They know when to hit the brake and to get out of like what seems like dangerous and reckless, like they're gonna fly off the cliff. And that's how I feel like with these machines. It's like you like when I'm playing a live set, like it's almost something's ready to topple over and like, but then you have the knowledge how to like pull things back and shape things how you want it. And the more and more you do it, it's like you have a better understanding how it handles and the limitations and how to drive it like you stole it. And
I don't know, man. You say that, but as you people will soon witness here, why we talk about Derek the way we do is you'll just witness the way you handle a machine like this is like if someone says to you they know their shit on their analog rhythm, tell them to watch this is the show today. And so I know there's a number of boxes that you love from Elektron, Digitact, the Octatrack.
Actually, Digitact,
here you got the analog rhythm, and you seem to have whittled it down to saying this here, the analog rhythm Mark II.
I got 2 now.
Which you have 2 of now, is the ultimate box you have yet to ever discover. Wouldn't you say that's what the conclusion you've come to?
Yeah.
I think that's a great thing to discover. Watch the sales go up today, by the way.
Yo, if anyone buys one, seriously, you gotta mail them and be like, I bought this because of BASECK. Because I think we need to let companies know, too, like our impact on this stuff. Because it's like,
let them know that you saw BASECK.
The people out here pushing them, at the shows that are grinding with them.
Did you buy those speakers, by the way?
Yeah. Actually, it was there was a memorial actually for one of my homies, rest in peace. So we wanted to have some sound at the at the cemetery, and we brought one. We played some music.
Oh,
and
amazing! I saw the video of that.
Yeah, and we sent him out with some love, and now I have it at my house, and I put all these ridiculous stickers. I like to go to the automotive shops where I don't have any on these machines, but on my mono machine, on my machine drum, I have like 4x4 stickers and like turbo and skulls and stuff. Those chrome like plastic decals. And so I put them all over the speakers, and sometimes I would take like a battery powered synth and go kick it on the 6th Street Bridge or something and go bump some sound with
What's this you're producing? Producing other bands now too, right?
Well, actually, this is a new project between me and Charlotte Free. This is like a virtual band that she came up with the concept because that's a fighting game called Jadu, and there's these characters, and it's like off NFTs and all that shit. So she really likes the characters and likes to explore magical fantasy worlds. So she's like, hey, let's build a band where like we do videos and stuff where these are the band members. And
whose modular is that back there?
That's actually
that looks like Cyrus's.
Yeah.
Oh, Cyrus's, yeah.
So yeah, we have our first song out, Charlotte Free and BASECK, called 4 Ava, the number 4 AVA, and the song is called. Damn, I don't even remember what the song's called.
No, you do too many songs.
Oh wait, it's not even under Charlotte Free. I'm sorry, it's under her alias Moonchild. So it's BASECK and Moonchild, and it's like it's kind of like a breakbeat hardcore song, but more magical.
What label's that on?
It's actually on my own like self-release label that I call Hyped On Experience.
Hyped On Experience,
which is,
and you're also working with Boys Noise. and you're also working with John Frusciante's label.
Oratio 9 and John Frusciante's label is called Evar Records, and they're doing ill shit out of LA.
Big up, John.
Yeah, but Hyped On Experience I just use for my own personal outlet, and the name came from Hyper On Experience, which is an old school breakbeat hardcore rave group. I think it was 2 or 3 people, and they were cutting shit up on Akai samplers and Atari computers and like 92, like hyper edited, like insane stuff that a lot of people don't even touch today. So I love them so much, and I feel like all my music, I'm just trying to achieve that level of chopped up insanity that they did. for my music. So when I wanted to do like my own self label, I was like, oh, Hyperon Experience. And they weren't around for years, and then they came back, and then I was like, oh shit, are they gonna say something about the name? I'm like, I'm hyped on Experience, you're hyper on Experience. But yeah, everybody check out Hyper on Experience, because they got killer breakbeat hardcore jungle techno tunes.
What, I mean...
Paul's daughter actually took that. Paul Barker's daughter.
You started on trackers, and it's important to point out that that's probably... Like, do you consider that an advantage that you started on a tracker versus like starting with, you know regular ways of sequencing?
Trackers are kind of like, I feel like they reign supreme on some shit, because trackers, you could be so meticulous with your editing, and you could say, oh, here's a pattern that I made, and let's clone it underneath it, and clone it, and clone it, and clone it, and each time you clone it, you could do hyper editing on it. And like I listened back to my old Game Boy stuff that we released on Subconscious Communications from the box set, and I'm like, damn, these tracks go crazy, because it was on a tracker, on the Game Boy tracker. And so I actually like how you could manipulate sound better on trackers, but it's not as intuitive, you know, because if anytime people sees a tracker, they're like, damn, this looks like a spreadsheet. And like, I would like somewhere in between that. Like, I would like if I could use hardware, but it would have a screen that looks like a tracker that I could say, oh, this pattern is the first one in the chain, and then I could go in there after I already make it and sequence it and then change things up, you know, because I don't use song mode on these things, because a lot of times I only make like 1 to 4 patterns a song, but like on a tracker, I'll have like 100 patterns, you know. Right. So like there's way more movement, there's way more drum fills, there's way more editing. But yeah, trackers are the shit. But like since I haven't been using them for a while, when I look at them, if it's not a handheld device, it kind of like throws me off.
What about the Polyend tracker? Did you try that?
Yeah, that's dope. But what I think is the sickest tracker out right now, shout out to the M8 tracker. I should have brought that to show you. Have you heard about it?
I think I heard about it, but I have not seen it.
It's a little bit bigger than the size of a Game Boy, and it's basically like it's a PCB with buttons on it. And they have a bunch of sound engines in it. They have FM engine in it. They have like normal square waves, all that shit. And then they also put mutable braids in there, all the different algorithms internally. So you have like 32 like oscillator types or algorithms, and then
a small little box you can carry around.
And then they put a super saw engine in there that you could make crazy ass trance. And so the Game Boy tracker was limited to only 4 channels. The M8 tracker has 8 channels, and it has MIDI in and out, and you could use it as a MIDI sequencer. So like, you know, imagine like you could just create all the tracks like in the bus, and then be like, okay, now I'm gonna put it all to MIDI, and then go home to your studio and just power 8 pieces of gear going crazy. And it samples, and you could put like 64 gigabyte SD cards in it of samples.
That's amazing, but for somehow I get the feeling that it will never take over from this box.
You know, I have plans for it too.
Wow.
Because
those are big words for that.
Yeah, because like I might be like moving into my RV and traveling around, and even though...
Is that what that picture is you sent me?
Yeah.
Is that real? That RV?
Yeah.
Oh, is that your RV?
Yeah, I got a 22-foot RV. It has solar panels on it. Shout out my boy Cosmic Carl.
Hold on. I thought he was kidding when he sent me this. I don't even have it handy.
It already has studio monitors in it.
I saw it. I'm like, wait.
Yeah.
That looks like something... It kind of looked like you were posting it like, this is something that I'd really like to do. It was not like...
No, I've had it for a year. It's just been at my mom's house.
Oh, my God.
So I'm thinking...
Here we go, folks.
Of course, I'll bring a little bit of gear with me, but I want to keep the M8 tracker on me. That way, you know, I could just go take a hike or whatever. And I want to get it back to the old school days, because I want people to book me, and I want to go to Europe, and I want to just pull out of my pocket.
That's a
good
segue right there to say, like, so I'm a huge fan. I mean, I remember the first time that I ever heard Asen. And I first heard like the early 90s change in music, the face of techno. And it did the same thing to Dwayne. You know, Dwayne was absolutely ruined by hearing Ascend.
Yeah.
Thus the birth of A Duck.
Yeah, Trip to the Moon, part 1.
Yeah,
part 2,
absolutely.
part 3.
And everything that came around that time was like somehow inspired by this like real late night 90s sound that you've become really, you've given a rebirth to it.
Thank you.
And like in a way that I can say that anybody who's a fan of this era today, when you do we're going to be,
oh, you know,
just wait.
Yo, check this out. I was on Twitter and I was like, yo, is Asen on Twitter? And then I went to go follow him and then it said follow back. He was already following me.
What?
I started tripping out. Like one of our heroes. Yeah, Asen.
Big up Asen.
Yeah, big up Asen.
Whoever you are.
Yeah.
I mean, UK, right?
Yeah, UK.
UK.
And when I found out...
Would you call Ascend breakbeat, or would you call it just like...
It's like the birth of... That's like breakbeat hardcore, they called it. And
hardcore techno.
Yeah, breakbeat hardcore and like early jungle techno. And you know what's cool too? When I first started coming here and you showed me Dwayne's old tapes, and I was like, whoa, this is the stuff that I was into when I was like 12 years old. I can't believe that you guys were hearing that too. I'm like, of course you were, but like sometimes in our minds we don't realize that all the scenes come together, and like it just makes sense because you guys are pushing the boundaries of what you could do musically with all this gear, and Asen and them were pushing the boundaries on some crazy shit. So it was all that excitement of music technology of like how far could we take this? How far like could we keep on going? And that's why I just thought it was beautiful. I was like, damn, you guys like Asen? Like that's crazy.
It's really funny because that's
the stuff that changed me too.
That was an intersection where I think like if anybody wondered what happened with the process of Skinny Puppy is Dwayne just became the rave scene. I mean, he was wearing Ren and Stimpy capes. He was wearing his purple underwear on the outside of blue sequence pants.
Yeah, and you were showing me tapes too that he collected over the years.
And he'd come down here to LA to just go to raves.
That warmed my heart.
So he's seen them all,
yeah.
You know, and he was at them all.
And Dwayne had tapes of RAW, which I was tripping because RAW is basically the reason why I started all this too. You know, when I was like 12 years old, and then so I was like,
full
damn,
circle.
We were listening to the same thing and like. You know,
well, that's why when you started tripping down this scene, I was like, "Wait,
you're like, this is
I cannot believe this. This is like." So, anyways, Derek came over here like a couple weeks ago, and you brought your box over, and we just sat here and you jammed for a bit, and I just lit my draw dropped.
Yeah, I did.
My draw dropped.
Yo, his draws didn't drop.
My draw
just his jaw. But that got me excited because like
you've also we got two exciting things here happening. We've got you first of all have the analog. What do you want to do? You want to just first of all you haven't hooked up the BRAP.
Yeah, we have the analog rhythm having two of the outputs triggering the BRAP, and I didn't really set up anything.
So you want to hear what that sounds like?
Let's rock it, huh?
Yeah, rock it.
All right, let's just do it. We're gonna do a freestyle right now, and I haven't touched this thing in a long ass time, so I forgot what everything does. So let's see what we can get out of it.
Yeah, let's see what happens. We're gonna switch it over to the Logic input, so you guys have direct sound. Watch out for your speakers. Yes, that was just hearing Brap.
Yeah,
There was no other sounds. That's crazy.
But I don't know what's really going on with this machine, so that was amazing.
Yeah, it's just completely
I mean that's what I like about using new pieces, that I don't know what the hell's going on, and I'm just like, okay, it feels very foreign, and then I can't wait to dive into it deeper and then be able to understand every single exact control and, you know, the LFOs and where everything's at. But no, it's a beautiful piece. Like, yeah, I can't wait to shred it.
Yeah, and it's so cool that they're on their way out, and I believe that we've got a pink one in line for you.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I've yet to see a pink one come through, but I'm anxious to do that. But that was a demo of what you're just using a gate channel out from the analog rhythm, and basically sequencing Brap with that, folks. So, one thing you didn't do was combine that sound with your sound on there, which you can do as well.
Yeah, which will sound amazing, because that's all just super alien shit. Like, if I just added a breakbeat behind it or a gabber kick, you know?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was like, if you put a gabber kick. So,
that sounds nice.
I think that was exciting, but get ready for this, folks, because what are you going to do? It's kind of like a mini set here.
Yeah, how long do you want me to rock it for? Because I can rock forever, but like, should we just do like 10 minutes, 15?
How long?
5?
How long do you guys want? I think like you should do like whatever you feel comfortable doing.
All right.
We got all the time in the world for you.
Yeah.
What I saw the other day, you just looked like you were just like having the most fun on earth. So I don't want to stop somebody when they're having fun.
All right, so I got my little sheet right here saying what my patterns are. So
I've never seen you with a cheat sheet before, so that's kind of like new.
Well, there's so many patterns in here, and there's no way to name them on the machine, so I have to write like,
Really? There's no way to name a pattern on the machine?
No, you could name a drum kit, and that will kind of tell you, but there's no way to look at it before you actually play it, So I have to like write down H, 11 sounds like a jungle, and I'll write little descriptive words right here. So right here, it looks like I'm gonna play some jungle breakcore. It says a couple happy songs, and then there's like some booty house in here even.
Well, I saw you changing. I'll say songs or patterns is you seemingly have like how you write songs like memorized, like how your mutes and how you're on and off. So you guys will witness when you see this. Maybe I should ask you about this after.
All right.
But are you feeling ready?
Let's go.
Is everyone out there ready? Are you ready to roll it?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, and Holy shit, part one. I mean, like,
Holy shit, part one.
no, absolutely. That box and what you get out of it, it's like you don't expect that you hear every possibility happening, and then some, and that's why they call you the master. Are you gonna do some more, or what do you do?
I'm loading up the happy one for you.
Oh, I want to hear that one again.
So yeah, Kevin requests this happy one. So I have a new project that I haven't really been telling anyone about, and it's called DJ Bliss Mode, because I was playing so many raves and playing so much harsh stuff, and I was like, wait, I feel like I need a melodic break, and then I started just experimenting with more melodies and just feel good stuff, and I wrote down a piece on a piece of paper, and like 2020 or something like that, of all these aliases that I wanted to do in the future, and one of them was DJ Bliss Mode. So when I started making all this happy stuff, I was like, oh, this is DJ Bliss Mode. So
is that what it is? That's what you were.
Yeah,
you were playing some stuff the other day that was like,
that's the one I'm
gonna
do right now.
Okay.
Everything's very bouncy. The vibe is just always in the clouds, you know. So
yeah,
let's rip this one real quick for a couple minutes, and this is one I don't ever play out live. So let's see if I remember where all the parts are.
give it to. Oh man! Before I turn on the mic, I was just saying, like, man, that was the one. That was the orgasm.
Yeah, you told me to play a crazy one, and I was like, what is right here? It says D.
I mean,
it says B 1 through 16 is breakcore, and I was like, all right, breakcore is probably
but you
a
know,
good one.
Last week when you came here and played stuff, you didn't play any of the same songs again.
No.
You've got like what you told me, like 70 or 80 songs in that thing, right?
Yeah.
And you've got a second machine now, and you're piling up the tracks in that too.
Yeah. So, one of the homies came over to my place the other day, and was like asking me because they use this machine too, and I was like, oh, I shred this. Let me show you what I do. And I was like, oh yeah, here's a couple songs, and then we went through it, and I was like, damn, wait a minute. There was project after project with so many songs, and you know, a lot of these I record really quick as demos, and then I put that in the Dropbox folder, and then if I'm going for a walk, I'll like sift through the Dropbox and like try and map it out in my head and organize like what I want to have as far as releases go. But then I just got so overwhelmed because I'm just like, there's like maybe 20 trance songs in there, like 20 booty house, some like reggaeton sounding stuff, like so many breakcore tracks, so many gabber tracks.
That last song was Whatever You Call It. My God, like Scully says it the best right there.
Oh, Scully in the house!
Yeah, this isn't easy. Trust me, folks. What you're witness is not easy, and like how you are so fluid with your changes in your parts and everything, and the composition. It's like you never hear the same loop like again. It's like it just progresses into this beautiful. Like I mean, I could listen to you play all night. That's why I want to tell you people out there that wherever you live, I see somebody say, "Come to the UK."
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I was thinking about that sometime, hopefully around April, to do like a European UK thing. It's kind of yeah, but we'll see if it happens. Like the thing is, I used to go out there all the time, and then I feel like the people that I know, it doesn't really happen anymore. Like promoters change, but like maybe I should look for an agent out there, you know, that will help me out. Because
yeah, if anybody
I played Bangface. I played Bangface in the UK, and I used to play.
Of course, Bangface is like you should be headlining Bangface.
I mean, I was supposed to go, I think last year. Yeah, but anyways, yeah, I'm gonna start trying to find an agent and work all that out because I used to play out there all the time, and I miss it because you know what I mean is like this music, basically. Like all of my influences were UK based way back in the day, so.
But you're taking it to a new level. I mean, it's just some of those sounds are just like, I'm sorry.
Well, a lot of
They hit me in a spot. Like, I mean, come on, I've been in a band that that's had harsh sounds and our whole career, but like you're bringing a new level.
Thank you.
And why I wanted to
to me,
get together with you today for everybody out here is so that all of you know in your hometown, if you're promoters or someone looking for someone to fly out there to go do a special show, whatever you're going to be, have them call him BASECK. I mean, he's like, you're a one-man band. You basically fly out with a machine.
I show up with a couple of machines and mad energy, and we go nuts.
And he's getting more expensive by the minute, so you better hit him up.
No, but you know what's crazy? It's like, I love that I feel like hanging with you, like, you understand this. You understand these rave stabs, and a lot of this is like sampled emu rack stuff, like what's that emu?
Yeah, so those aren't internal presets, folks. Like, most of that stuff is like you meticulously go and find like what was the rave era type sounds, right?
Yeah.
Super saws,
super
anything
saws,
that you can
acid lines, but some of it I do, a lot of the melodic synthesis stuff, that's like the acid lines, the trance lines, a lot of it is internal sounds. Like, I use the cowbells in here to create almost like a detuned saw sound, and but yeah, so I
use internal synthesizers in there too,
yeah,
as well.
yeah, I do use a lot, and like a lot of the kick drums I turn into acid lines because it sounds really beefy. But just you appreciating these sounds. Like, I was over here a couple weeks ago, and Kevin gave me this old school sample CD to borrow. It was like, you got to check this out, and then I ripped it, and I was like, wait a minute, like, I grew up listening to a lot of these types of sounds, so it's like I put a lot of the old school stuff and then do my new style of synthesis. But hanging with you understand it. Like, you hear the era of the early '90s in it, but also the way I try and freak it and turn it into other stuff.
As soon as when you jammed last week, I was like, hey, wait, you need to have this.
Yo, shout out. I mean,
Ecstatic Goldmine.
Obviously, you influenced me like crazy, but another person that we were just talking about earlier is Igor Cavalera from the original Sepultura. When I went and saw his two shows in LA and in Orange County the other day, they were playing but Morbid Devastation was their record from like '84 or something, and they were playing it in full, and it's super thrash metal, technical as hell. And wait, is it Morbid Visions? Am I crossing? Yeah, maybe someone's saying in the chat, because there's Morbid Visions. Oh yeah, and Bestial Devastation. But they were playing those records, and it got me excited to make stuff like this, where I'm using the techno sounds, but doing, like, you heard all the like all the.
Of course.
When I heard Igor playing, I was like, you know what? I got to get back into my roots of going hard, because it's like, shout out Boys Noise Records, but when I got on the label, I started making more tracks that were like boom, 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 140 electro stuff. And then when I saw Igor again, the OG Sepultura, it made me think, oh yeah, like, I have this whole side of me that was super thrashy and like, blast beats and, screaming on some shit. So some of that stuff was inspired by Igor and seeing the OG Sepultura of like, wait a minute, I want to take these sounds and I want to scream over them again, and I want to do insane rhythms. And I want to do super salt trance lines, and just be like, just like insanity.
If anybody's familiar with the Banana Sloth album, if you go and listen to the song Monster, you laid that down in one take.
You
just came in and said, hey, let me lay down some vocal on this.
You hit me up. And
sight unseen, sight unheard, and I started spinning it, and it went down, no overdub. You handed me the mic after, and was like, high-fived me, and I was like, only this guy,
I was
only
nervous
this guy
as hell.
can do shit like that.
I was nervous as hell. I think I was staying downtown at the time, and then you hit me up. You're like, come over, this needs vocals, and then I was like, all right. I was like, oh shit. I was kind of nervous, and I was trying to write something down on the train over here, and I remember I got here and we just shredded that. But yeah, like, I feel like that's one of the things that I want to see. Like, no disrespect to all the people right now that are playing in the rave scene and stuff. Like, I want more combination of live stuff, because it's like everybody's a DJ now, and that's fine. But it's like,
we're not doing that.
We were freaking out of the era of Otto von Schirach standing on top of the speaker shouting over blast beats, and it's like, I miss that type of stuff. And being old school with this, like, and hearing this stuff kind of like you, like, I don't, I'm always on a mission to, we wanted to hear what's progressing nonstop, and a lot of the shows that I play, they're really sick, but they're playing Gabber that I was listening to when I was 13 years old, and I'm like, okay, that's dope, but like you're supposed to be the generation that's supposed to be like, yo, BASECK, you suck. Like I want to be able to tear you up in a second, you know what I mean? And I want like I've always done that. Everyone that I loved above me, I'm just like, yo, you're good, but I want to shred you. Like you're amazing and you inspire me, but I want to be like a billion times better than you. You know what I mean?
That's why I say, when I think of LA musicians that I have witnessed explode, it's that you're my choice. So you are my choice of the the natural born LA musician of the city that I back, and today you kind of showed exactly what I'm talking about, and that you guys have no idea. No matter what instrument you pick up, pretty much you can do pretty much a similar thing. But the thing I really love about what you do with the analog rhythm is that you take advantage of the little hidden secrets that are in here, as far as like how you can program a sample to activate differently in fill mode versus regular mode.
Right.
And then you also like to
the performance knob.
The performance knobs. You're great at
the performance knob. You can map to like so many parameters.
So you're mapping parameters to performance knobs and everything. But one thing I love about
what I see, the DJ style, that
the DJ
turntablism, because I'm just like, oh shit.
But looking at it from the outside, what I see is that you got this bass sample that is like when you start up your song and that sample can be that, but like it's basically, I like how you save your song at the beginning stage, because I've seen you many times play a song where the sound starts, but by the time you finish manipulating it with your things that you've assigned to it and all the rest of it, it changes into a bigger, different sound. But I know that you can always go back and start it from the beginning again. But you know that because that's how you program your songs. Is that to start with the bass level and give yourself that room to expand with a reverb or a delay or whatever else you're assigning to that multi-controller. That's just sick.
Well, that's what I was trying to show on one of the happy songs, when there was a woman's voice going up, up, up. And then all of a sudden, when I started pulling it apart, it was saying so hardcore, and then I was grinding the start and end points. It goes, and then I pitched it down, and then I played it normal speed, and it was like so hardcore. And that's funny because that's a Lady Gaga sample from her that movie with that one dude, Tell Me Something, Girl. But I was like, with breakbeat hardcore, they just took anything and they just pitched it up. So I was like, that's so hardcore to sound to be so hardcore. And that's what I like doing is when you play live, like anything that sounds like an audio illusion, that you hear the sound and then it morphs into something and changes, and then you understand what it is, and then you hit it back to the weird version of it. I think it does something to your brain, like trying to understand. Cause
that's what it did to me.
Yeah, because we're able to...
Because I watch you do it, I'm going, that's just brilliant. Then you've gone back to think, your brain is like,
you're like, whoa! It like shows you the process.
Expanding.
And you know what's twisted too? Like I was at an art gallery last night, and someone was like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I was like, "Oh, I play with sounds and audio and kind of like try and do wizardry on sound." And they didn't really understand. And I was just like, all these sounds that you hear when they're electronic, if it's not a sample, it's made by a bunch of dorks that are saying, oh, I could take 2 sine waves and I could detune them and I could add a noise and a couple envelopes on it, and that's going to sound like an acoustic snare sound. And they're like, whoa, I've never thought about sound that way. And I was like, yeah, it's really twisted because the normal listener is not going to care, but like the dorks are like, whoa, they're designing all this stuff from scratch. But then I started thinking, when I was getting super into sound design years ago, I would just walk down the street and hear someone drop something in the road, and automatically your brain starts thinking, oh, how do I create that sound, and everything starts getting a little overwhelming because you hear a buzz and like everything is an oscillator, everything is like filtering, and but it's also a beautiful thing, like with all these VSTs these days, like I want to make the sound of a bird going and all of a sudden that morphs slowly into a pad, because that's the type of stuff that tricks your brain. It's like, how is it this one thing that I'm picturing a bird, and then all of a sudden it's like a choir, it turns in audio illusions.
What VSTs do you like?
Synth Plant is amazing.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah,
virtual synth.
There's a lot of people doing ill stuff on Max for Live for Ableton. that a lot of spectral morphing stuff of and taking two sounds and like spectral processing them, where like if you have a break beat and say a chord, it'll like scrub the chord over the break beat of the getting the rhythm of the break beat, but just like sounding like a pulsating chord, but like you could hear little elements of the break beat kind of like trying to morph through. Like it reminds me if you took like saran wrap over something and then pressed it over it, where like you're like, oh, I could see what that is under it, but like it's weird shit these days of everyone. What else? Like there's tons of granular spectral stuff, like convolution, reverb type stuff. Yeah, I think Synplant is one of my favorites. So. Because you can put a human voice in there, and then it synthesizes it into FM, and then once it puts it into FM, then you can pull apart all the parameters. So I could say, hey, and it's like, hey, and then it's, hey.
So you sample from things that you make on your DAW into there.
Yeah, and, inside of this machine? Yeah, and what... A lot of my breakbeats that I use, I'll like line them up and put them certain tempos, and then put like mastering plugins and things to try and make them sound crisp, and then I drag and drop them into here, which kind of sucks that this is a mono instrument, so all your samples get converted into mono when they come in here, yeah.
And I was also kind of blown away to find out that there isn't really like an automatic like tempo thing with loops in this machine. You're doing everything by ear.
Yeah, so I'll try and make some folders that say like, oh, all these breakbeats are at 175 BPM, and I know that I could just scroll through that really quick. But a lot of times that's that DJ style. I'll put one loop and whatever speed I want it on, I'll just take the pitch and I'll just do it by ear to be right on. So,
but that's because I've also seen you DJ here at the house many times, like the most obscure mashups, where you are used to listening to a rhythm and then matching a rhythm to it, without even thinking about it. It seems that's a natural for you as the DJ coming up as the DJ.
Yeah.
So it's great how you throw DJ skills into obviously everything that you do. You can see there with your mutes and your solos and everything you do. It's not on the 1, it's not on the 4, it's on just the 0.3 of the bar. You know, it's like, and I love how like you're when you unmute things, it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
And plus that it's never predictable what you do, and that's like bravo to that.
Thank you.
And another thing is that
that's just that DJ shit. Like I was thinking about that the other day. That I remember when I first learned about counting beats, I was like, oh, all music kind of has, unless you're listening to weird time signature stuff, but even if you are and you understand it, you could just count. Because I remember I would always be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I would do that, and I'd be like, wait, 8 times usually there's like a big change, and if 16, and I'm like, whoa, all this music stuff is wild, and that's kind of.
Do you ever find yourself counting?
Not anymore, because it's all just natural. You know?
Yeah.
I was actually talking to someone about that the other night, how that we get so into tune of audio that like, even if we're tired or like, actually, what is this just on YouTube or where is this at?
It's on YouTube.
I mean, we were talking about nitrous. Can I talk about that on here?
Sure, I guess. It's a private. We're Patreon private today.
Because the LA rave scene is blowing up again with nitrous oxide, and what that does, it cuts off oxygen to your brain, and it's probably, I don't know if it's really bad for you, but like, so then it creates this weird thing where audio is shifting in your brain. I remember a long time ago when I tried it as a kid, raving, but I was so into audio that like I couldn't just tune out because I could still hear the audio. Like a lot of people, if they take it, they're just in another world, but I'm just like, our brains are so tuned sometimes to counting, to understanding sounds, like as sound designers and producers, that I was like, I remember taking that, and everyone's like, whoa, like the audio went all wild to me, and I was like, yeah, but even if it does, like I'm still like counting. Like if I was DJing, I'm like, oh no, it's time to put it in, and like I just thought that was so hilarious, that like yeah, the different arts that you're hyper into, that you're super aware of everything that's going on, and you know that gets tough sometimes, you know, because you watch a movie and you're just like, oh shit, like that sound, you know, they could use a better sound, or like why are all the same movies, or every single action movie is using the same bass drop impacts and the same what's that composer that does like every single movie?
You mean the guy in?
Oh, the Zimmer dude.
Hans Zimmer.
Yeah. And everyone's using that, you know.
Right,
but like, so
it's the same score for every movie.
Yeah.
Just adjusted a bit.
And then but it's funny, like paying attention to audio. It's like, I don't know where I'm going with that, but audio is insane. And
I think like that was great that, you know, we're asking about counting and stuff, and that made me think about Danny Carey. I was with Danny one time, and someone came up and was asking Danny about the timing of a particular song. And he just said something like, don't worry about that stuff, or something like that. And then he turned to me and he goes, I never count. As a matter of fact, I just know the rhythm.
Right.
It's like,
because he's not like sitting there at the school Berkeley of like, oh, if I do 7 on this hand, and 13 on this.
He just knows that rhythm.
Yeah.
And he is so ambidextrous with the way he thinks and intuitive that that's how it goes.
Song. It is not about counting.
It's about the song.
They just like.
I just thought that was interesting to find out, because I bet there's a lot of fans out there that would like to know that. That he doesn't sit there and go, okay, this is in 7/6.
Yeah.
Or, you know, whatever it is. And that's the thing.
Another interesting exactly thing like that. It's just natural.
Is that I know that the guys from Elektron have seen you play and watched you play, and they can't still figure it out exactly how you can do what you do on an instrument they invented.
Yeah.
So what do they ask you? Did they ask you, well, like, is there anything more you want on this? Or
I wish every company asked that, because there's always room for improvements. Some, like last time I was with them, they tripped out of like how I'm getting all my melodic sequences, because this wasn't a thing that was really meant for melodic stuff at first. It only started as a drum synthesizer, and then later on they added analog VCO in there that was supposed to function like a synth voice. And they do have chromatic mode where the 12 pads turn into notes, but then they just barely recently, like years, like I don't know, over 5 years after this has been out, added to scale mode. But like I have a lot of arpeggiating sounding trance lines in here that I would meticulously program, and then they would kind of trip out, just like, damn, you're using this.
Because I don't know how you do it either.
They'd be like, whoa, you're using this as a full workstation. And
yeah.
This thing does only have 8 voices, but there's 12 pads, so some of them share the same voice. So I would make it, when I press the fill, it would mute one sound and bring up the other, because then it sounds like I have way more channels going on than there is. You know?
See, that's what I'm talking about. You'll see you push the fill button, but then you'll hear something.
Everything changes.
Everything changes, and you'll be like, wait, that is just brilliant. And then with mixes with, I mean, that's when I start to realize it's like I'm watching like a juggler.
Yeah.
Like I've never been able to juggle, and I can never figure out how people do it.
Right.
So I see you juggling, and I'm going, okay, this guy's, you know.
You know what's crazy? Like, you know, Venetian snares, I think even on the Mark 1, I remember talking to him a long time ago. He's like, oh, I use this thing just mainly as a sampler, and I realized that's what I started doing with it. And I don't know which tracks, if he's released them with, you know, and stuff that he released that he did on the analog rhythm, because, you know, he's also a head that goes crazy, and he's super in depth with everything that he does. So like now that like I really work on this thing, I'm just like, damn, I wonder
where he's at.
Yeah, because I think he put a video one time of just like on some super hardcore jungle breakcore stuff, like around the time that he was doing the Detrimentalist album, and that was one of my favorites, because it was, you know, sounded like old school rave stab, you know, breakbeat hardcore stuff. And so now I'm really curious of like what type of stuff he was doing, you know, compared to what I'm doing. And you know, that's one of the funny things about people that push this shit all the time, that like when I would get into gear and, you know, I'd find a little weird Yamaha synth and I'd start hooking up all this MIDI and sending it all this CC, and I'm thinking I'm discovering something new, then I read online and it's like, oh, Autechre was doing that 20 years ago, you know what I mean? So that's what I love about like the headiness of this stuff, you know, is like, you know, we have a special thing in us that is kind of like a blessing and a curse, to be like, what is this and how do I get into every circuit, you know, and put my stamp on it and just learn how to be friends with it and understand these, you know.
Aaron is
issues,
definitely
you know?
I asked Aaron to do a live chat, and he said, "I don't promote myself. I don't want to talk about my music." I'm like, "Oh, you can talk about ice cream."
And I was like, I wish he would, because
yeah, I wish he would too. He's very private.
He's been like,
he says, "I make my music for me. I don't make
Yeah.
it for anybody. I don't care what they think."
I mean, yeah, I don't really either, but
Yeah.
it's fun to share it, because
Yeah.
if you have this thing that lights you up, it's like, I believe that we're like communal people, that, you know, we inspire each other. And
Well, I would thought of one thing, and that's why I started laughing. Is that I remember a life-changing event for John Frusciante was the night that you and Otto and everybody was at the theater down the street here, and Aaron was doing a live set. I think it was Detrimentalist period.
Really?
And you came out, and you were bugging Aaron while he was doing his set.
Oh, yeah,
and he
yeah.
turned to you. Oh, we should have that on video. And he turned to you, and he flipped you or something, right?
He slammed me on the ground.
He gave you a full body slam, and then he jumped on top of you like. I mean, it was all in fun and game, but man, it was pretty funny, I will say. Remember that night?
Yeah, but that's when we were all partying really hard. But Cyrus Rex told me, because the turntable was still set up, and he was like, go scratch over Venetian Snare's set, because I was scratching over Otto's set. And I was like, does he want me to? And he was like, yeah, just go up there. And I remember I was all scratching and going crazy, and then it might have been too much, you know, because I'm just sitting there. It's like a guitar solo when they don't know when to shut the hell up, you know, because like I do that.
No, but it was great.
But I remember we were all having fun, and you guys were like, yeah, go up there, go scratch. And then I remember scratching, and I think he like turned me off or down, and I'm like, why am I up here? And I remember I would go down, and then Cyrus Rex would be like, yo, go up there and just keep doing it. And then
It was funny.
I remember going up to
It's on YouTube
stairs,
somewhere.
and I remember being like, hey, like I can't hear this, you know, like turn me back up.
What was that theater called again?
I don't even remember. And I think he didn't want to or something, and I was bugging him because he's just in his flow, and I'm just like, hey, I can't hear myself. I can't hear myself.
Yeah,
you know,
he just,
and he was just all,
picked you up and flipped you down, and then jumped on top of you like a body slam. It was funny.
No, but I wish he would, you know, come back around, because his music was so ahead of the time too, and he helped inspire. Like there was this sound that was already there, but he kind of took it to the next level, and you know, we were inspired by the same stuff. But like,
yeah.
But now the subgenre of breakcore that people know is so different, and a lot of the new kids don't even know of him. You know,
Knitting Factory, that was it.
Yeah, and I'm like, people should know of him, you know, because he was so prolific. He was releasing like a new album like every 3 months or something. You know, you're like how does this guy have like 6 albums a year? You know.
Are you a robot from the future to show us the way, Derek? Says Scully.
I'm everything. I'm everywhere.
You're everything and
I'm
everybody.
everywhere like air. So watch as I expand.
So you did take a little bit of a break for a while, but now you're back and you're playing gigs. And are you playing like every weekend again here?
No.
Almost.
I took a break for almost 4 months, but that was sort of a lie too, because I think within that I probably played twice within that 4 months. Like I did do a live thing with my friend CZ, and we played 10 hours a day for 2 days in a row. So we played 20 hours in 2 days, all live. And so that was in between my break. You know, it was a fun opportunity because we did it like the year before, and I was like, I gotta jump out of my quick retirement. I mean, I just told everyone, I'm like, I retired, I'm done, I quit, you know, but because I didn't want anyone to bug me, because I was playing every weekend, sometimes twice a week or more for like almost a year, and I just got so exhausted. I didn't realize how tired I was getting. And that's why I have so many songs too, because I get bored of playing the same stuff. So every day I would wake up, I'm just like, oh shit, I got a show tonight, and I would just go crazy and like, you know, make like 5 new songs, and doing that every weekend. That's how I amass so much music.
Yeah.
And tighten stuff up. But yeah,
amazing
now I'm back.
Amazing dedication.
And I'm trying to. I think I wasn't properly taking care of myself.
Yeah,
you know?
someone just said that Boiler Room was epic, dude. That set you did with.
Oh yeah, with Flapjack. That's the homie.
That was
Thank you.
That's just stupid. And that I was asking you again. I said, how were you doing that?
Oh, you know what?
You guys were just spinning.
That was all vinyl, yeah.
This is crazy.
And I had the Digitac there that I was doing a couple samples, but hardly anything.
Yeah.
I'm actually trying to get him in the studio. He doesn't make music, but I want to sample a bunch of the records that we use for scratching.
Yeah.
Because now that Onyx record pressing plant is in Arcadia,
Yeah.
only a half hour from here.
Big up Cyrus.
I was like, we need to have the BASECK flapjack DJ tool, and then have it be locked grooves of gabber kicks and break beats
wow.
and elements from all this stuff.
Yeah.
So next time we perform, we could each have 2 and basically be creating our own compositions on 4 turntables. You know, so
wow, yeah.
it's just gonna. He's still playing all the time. I don't know how he does it. Like, I got tired, and then he kept going, and then he took a break for only a month, and then I would take like almost 4 months, and I was like, damn, I'm so tired. And he took 1 month and was immediately back to playing twice every single weekend, flying all over the place. And
Yeah, I don't know how you guys do it. Plus that, your events are always known to be late night.
yeah, a lot of it would just
It's no
go up
8
as-
o'clock set.
Yeah, it's always you know, headlining time 2 in the morning to 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Sometimes later. Then the party goes till 5, and you hang around. You're always till the sun comes up. But yeah, I think I wanna play a lot more because it's fun, and I was like, oh, I need to take care of myself better. Now that I understand that dynamic, you know, like the other night I just played a show, and instead of staying up after and like, because that energy, you know how it is, you can
Yeah.
play a show and you're wired and like you're in another zone, and I'm like, okay, now I need to go home, have some tea, put my alarm on or my timer for like 10-15 minutes and actually meditate, process what happened, and you know, say thanks in my head to everyone that was there, and you know, thank the universe and my ancestors, whatever, for fueling me with these rhythms, you know, because I feel like everything I do, when I got the Tempest and I was just drumming like crazy, I was like, wait, this actually feels ancestral. Like, I feel like, I'm like, I'm doing the same thing of beating on drums, you know, as like
I
my
love
ancestors probably
Your Tempest sets were, there was a degree of heavy meditation
were. Yeah.
possibilities there because you were zoning in on something that was very, very not trancey style music.
Yeah, but
transcendental.
Yeah. And people felt that. They were like, yo,
Yeah,
I feel like this is
remember
like...
the time you would perform with like a hood,
because I only wanted to be focused on the machine with
just
no
on the machine.
outside input, you know?
And it was pretty amazing because you had a few people, almost call them your followers at that time, that were doing the same thing. It was like, had like and it was almost like, whoa, this is so heavy.
Well,
but it was like so,
and it was crazy
tonal at the same time.
When I started figuring out, I was like, I felt like I was tapping into some ancestral thing, and I was like, these are warrior rhythms. It's just the future ones. Like, sometimes I wish that I did only do drums because this shit's so complicated. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing better. Or drumming, you know, just raw hitting something, and I feel like this is just the future version of that. But since we grew up to electronics, you know, we automatically go to this, and it was crazy that people would feel that too. They're like, hey, I feel like you're tapping into like some warrior rhythm, and I'm like, that's exactly what I call my music at the time, you know, warrior rhythms. But
well, the fact that Ascent is following you is that, I mean, come on, that's a grand achievement right there.
Hey, the fact that we're friends, that's the grand achievement. No, I love that too with social media. Like, even right before we started the stream, one of my favorite jungle producers, Remark, followed me back on Instagram, and I was like, damn, Remark was another one of those people chopping up amens on the samplers with the taris and like doing stuff, insane edits that people were barely trying to catch up to, like, you know, over
the
30.
amen break you were making reference to.
Yeah, amen break stuff that they're doing 30 years later. So
yeah,
that's what I love about social media is it's
great that guy finally got paid some royalties.
Oh, the Winston's people?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
For the breaks. Yeah, they did a GoFundMe and they got him like $50,000 or something like that.
Oh, okay. That's
which is
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, he was due, right?
Yeah.
But man, so is there any place that we can catch you coming up?
There might be
nothing planned at this particular
There might be
minute?
something in February in LA. Oh, actually, you know what? There's February 3rd. My friend Derek Holgan, he made my music video. Check that out if you haven't. It's called Time to Party, off my last Boys Noise record EP called... What is that called? You're on it.
Devices is the
yeah,
song. Is the
Devices
song
is
we
the
have.
song.
That there's also a video for.
Oh, Activate Rhythm.
Activate Rhythm.
Yeah. So Derek Holgan, who made the video and that stuff, he is having an art show in LA on. Actually, the art show is already going, but I'm playing the closing, which is February 3rd.
Is that secret location?
No. This is at Human Resources, which is a gallery downtown.
Human Resources Gallery downtown, February 3rd.
Yeah, that might be me doing a bunch of trance. Melodic no beat stuff for like an hour or two, and then at the end hit it really hard. And then there's another thing coming up, another downtown rave on February 17th, and then at the end of February 24th I'm going to be playing in Minneapolis.
Hear that? Minneapolis?
Yeah, February 24th.
On what day on
The 24th.
Minneapolis? 24th of February?
Yeah, 1 month from now.
And where are you playing in Minneapolis?
I forgot, actually.
Just look it up if you're from Minneapolis.
Yeah, just follow at BASECK.
Follow at BASECK, and he will give you all the info. But if you get a chance to see BASECK live, then I think that you better get your dancing shoes on and get ready for an sonic assault. Derek, thank you so much for hanging with us today and displaying and talking and inspiring, and you're like one of my best buddies here in LA for like 20 years, and thank you so much for your friendship as well. Thank you to everybody out in there in Patreon land.
Thank you everyone for pulling up and watching.
Come to Atlanta, come to Portland.
I would go to any of those places. Just all it is tell your local promoters to book me, because I don't know who they are, and just
Web of Weeps. You can get that going down where you're at. Roy Anderson, Eric Peterson. Let's get some people booking actively. You play Texas a lot, right? Have you done that?
Yeah, I play Austin.
Yeah, Detroit does need you. I think like you could wipe out.
We used to play Detroit all the time. It's just been so long, And what's crazy, this is one of the things that I was talking to someone about, that a lot of people think that I have a full agency and everything. Like, I did a remix for a friend the other day. He's like, oh, put me in touch with your management and your team. And I just started laughing. Like, I've been independent my whole life. And so I think a lot of people think I have all this already set up. And I'm like, I'm just...
So you're just like basically at BASECK.
Yeah, I'm just flying I'm just flying off the edge of my seat trying to make things happen. But I'm just like, booking... agents, get a hold of me. Let's go, because I'm ready.
I think that if you follow you on your Instagram, it'd be easy to hook up.
Yeah.
And then if you got some people out there that want to see something like this, then hook it up. Webb, you're in Detroit? Okay, there you go. There you go. Look out for Web of Weeps.
Yeah.
Introduce Derek to the puppy. Thank you again, everybody. As I said, I get long-winded here at the end with my goodbyes, so I'm going to say goodbye about 3 more times here.
Goodbye.
And thank you.
Big
goodbye,
love.
everybody. Good night. Oyasumi na sa.